Well, hello again, world, and welcome right back into my garden. This is Anne from Yard Steading in Jamaica. All right, so this is what Monday evening, and I have come home and I'm looking at my seedlings, and I realized that I'm going to have to find a new space to put my seedlings because they are dying off. So I had onions in this that I sold for a friend. So this would be one and this would be two. But most of the onions have dried up. I looked at the tomatoes this morning and they were looking great, but look at what the heat has done. Them wilting like crazy. So whereas I used to be saying right here is too shaded, I don't know what has changed. I don't know if the sun has changed direction or something. I don't have a clue what is going on. But I'm going to need to either build myself a little shade house to start seeds in, or find a more, what I call it now, sheltered environment for my seedlings to grow. This is crazy stuff. Anywho, my pumpkins have emerged and are looking like giants. Ha ha! Well, hello world, look at pumpkin. All right, these are imported seeds, so I don't have a clue what these will taste like. So I sow 6 seed and 5 of the 6 have come up. And them really looking nice and robust. Yes. So everywhere that I have transplanted a habanero, I see seedling coming up in there. So this have what? 1, 2, 3, 4 seedlings in it. Show you again. This is the only one that don't have seedlings coming up in it. And I have a pot around the back that has about 6 or so seedlings in there. All right, so don't know why, but my scotchy them slow this trip. Slow, 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 slow. So these are scotches. All of those are scotch banded peppers. I'll show you what my sweet pepper seedlings look like. And I'm going to tell you what I am going to be making. Not today, because I'm not doing the transplants today. The transplanting will be done on the 9th, on the 10th rather. It's on the 10th that I'm going to transplant. Um, but I have to make up a solution that I use when I transplant any tree that I have that will bring forth. So I'm going to put it on the pumpkins, the peppers that I'll be transplanting, the cucumbers that I'll be transplanting. I'm going to show you those in a second. These are my cucumber and squash, whichever one of the squash this is. I planted yellow squash, not the crookneck variety, the straight ones, and I planted zucchini. I don't know which one that is, so the proof will be in the bearing. So this is red sweet pepper seedlings that I need to transplant, and the yellow ones are so tall. I wanted to look at the difference between the yellow sweet pepper seedlings and the red ones. The yellow ones are so tall, so much taller, and they're all sown on the same day. Well, all right. I'm not going to go in the garden today except to look at what is happening in there. I just might sit in the garden and tell you what I'm going to be making to use on my seedling that I will be transplanting on the 10th. So stay tuned now. Before I go and sit, I want to show you the wasp nest. You see them? Okay. So they have emptied one of the nests. I wonder if it's moved, them moving. Because I would appreciate it, you know. Those are why I stopped the demo, because apparently they're being agitated by the noise. Um, I need to get the spray and spray them. Oh, but that is going to create problems for Miss Anne, because Miss Anne and sprays don't work. Huh? Let me gently put it back down so I do not disturb their peace. Oh yeah. So this is the other container I was telling you about that have 1,000,001 seedling coming up in there. I don't know where all of this came from. I have no clue. Could it be that there were seeds in the container that were not germinated? And when I transplant, because I am putting all of the stuff on this now, everybody decide to come up. I don't know. I am suspecting that that must have been what has happened. So I'm gonna have to transplant all of these. All of these are habaneros. Oh Lord. I don't know how many of you bake. I know everybody must know about the good old yeast. So I make my own breads. So I buy yeast in this quantity. So it's a 1 pound pack. And I've had this 1 pound pack of yeast for almost 2 years. However, I also use this yeast in my garden. I use it to make a rooting solution. And here is how this rooting solution is utilized. So whenever I transplant my sweet peppers, tomatoes, hot peppers, the pumpkins, the squashes, the cucumbers, I use it sometimes when I do broccoli, cauliflower. Whatever is going to give me a shoot, or yeah, I'll use it on there, or a blossom, I'll use it on them. So this particular solution, I use it 3 times throughout the entire growing process. When the plants are being transplanted, I use it. When they put on blossoms, I use it. And when the first fruits come on the plant, I use it. So that is only 3 times throughout the entire life cycle of any of those plants that I mentioned before that this is utilized. Sometimes when I'm in a crazy mode, I put it on my fruit tree them too. That is if I make and there's excess. So what I have done is to narrow it down to what I'm going to be planting and how much is going to be utilized. So here is this recipe. I came prepared today to give you the recipe. I need to make this solution this week, but because it only requires 24 hours of fermentation, I can't make it today because I won't need it until the 10th. All right, so here goes. So if you have a large garden, you can do the full complement. For me, I don't need to make it in its full complement. And I came prepared to. I broke it down for you. Now, the best way and the most accurate way of measuring anything that you're going to either bake with, cook with, or utilizing any other method is by weighing. Well, I don't have a scale right now. Well, that's a lie. I have a ginormous scale. I ain't gonna plug in that thing just to weigh a pound of something or a half pound of something. That's a waste of my money. I could have to pay JPS enough money. I mean, no intent to give them no more of my money than me have to. So, I broke it down for you all. For the total mix, it calls for a pound of brown sugar, 1 ounce of yeast, just 1 ounce of yeast, and 30 pounds of water. So I'll take that down for you. If you want to measure in grams, a pound of sugar would be 454 grams. An ounce of yeast would be 28.35. I'll just run it after 28 and done. I don't think the 0.35 so tedious, yeah. So 28 grams. And the 30 pounds of water it will equate to 13,607.8 or yeah, call it 13,608 grams of water. All right? So I did something a little better for us, all of us. Because I tend to use a cup and a spoon more often than not, I went and I did the calculation for cups. So if you're going to use the entire pound, it would be 2 cups of sugar. If you're going to use the yeast, you're going to use either 6 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons of yeast for the total mix that is. And for the water, is 60 cups of water for the entirety. All right? All right, so here is where we're going to go now. So for me, I'm going to make half of this. So I need 1 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of the yeast, and 30 cups of water. The water has to be warm water. Now, I don't like the stove to warm the water. I catch the water the day before, put it out in the sun, or in the morning before I leave for work, put it out in the sun, and the sun does the heating. So when I come home, I go have to make that water tone down little because you see the intensity of the sun we have, that water not going to be warm, it's going to be hot. So you don't have to light your stove, you just have to pre-prep. So get the water and put it in the sun beforehand, and everything else is a breeze. All of us should have a measuring cup. If you don't have one, you can borrow one and then give it back as soon as you're done. But if I choose them kind of up on the cheap side, still you can get an entire set, cups and spoon for about $500. Yeah. And I think almost all of us bake something at home, whether we're proficient or we're not proficient. So this is what I'm going to be making. And when I'm making it up, I will do the video as well. It is one of the easiest things to make. And like I told you how to apply, when your fruit is being transplanted or your trees are being transplanted, when they have begun to blossom and when the fruits appear. So it's only 3 times throughout the entire life cycle of any of the fruiting plants that you need to utilize this solution. So when you make it this time, you don't need to make it until when your trees or your plant have gotten to the stage where they are now going to blossom. And then you make it again and you do it the same way, 24 hours in advance, because it's a fermented rooting solution. Okay? So that's that for the rooting solution. Have a good one. This was a shorty. Stay tuned. Until we meet again right here in the garden. Let me say thank you to all my subscribers, old and new. And I'm telling you, when Anne says she's thankful, she is thankful, okay? If you're here and you have not yet subscribed, please to do so. Like the videos, share the videos, comment on the videos. I do read them. And please press that post notification bell so that you can be made aware each time a new video is uploaded. Until we meet again right here in the garden, this is Anne saying, have a blessed evening. Jagai.